you doing?
Pretty good.
What have just kind of been your impressions of pads?
Say it again.
What have just been your opening impressions?
Opening impressions. I would say that, I think we don't really ever have a day one anymore. We do so much in the off season. So it's just a continuation of spring into summer. And really, I think, if anything, we've had a great summer. I think the guys have gotten bigger, stronger, faster. Now their job is to apply that to the game, take those new either acquired skills or exposed talent, I like to say, and now implement it to your production on the field. So we've had a good summer, and now we're just making sure we're getting locked in on not just lifting weights, but maintaining our bodies and really getting really good at execution, competition, and developing the foundation for a great offense.
Brian, last week, Ryan said that one of the most important things for you is your relationship with the quarterbacks. How have you seen that progress as you guys have gotten deeper into the playbook and you guys are getting ready to install the game plan?
Yeah, it's been great. I think the dialogue that all started, really more in the spring to continue that into the summer, a good amount, but then to get into fall camp and really be more hands-on has been enjoyable. Having opportunities to play some, pool basketball with some of these guys and let them get competitive and they can feel me get competitive. I think, again, I'm not in a world of trying to force anything, just let it happen organically, but I think, it's been really positive so far. I like to think that, but never going to assume. And we got a great room, so it's an easy process to be involved with those guys.
Hey Brian, I know it's hard to fully evaluate running backs, but since Turbo has been here, what have your thoughts been?
Yeah, I think Turbo, he's learning right now. I mean, he's learning, number one, who we are and how we operate. I mean, not that he's defiant by any means, but just there's a time aspect that has to take place. And anytime you kind of come in the summer, there's always just a curveball. It takes a little bit of time that the winter and the spring can help you get acclimated to, that you don't get exposed to. But no, he's very willing. He's hardworking. I'm sure he's studying at a high level, but he's getting acclimated to first, how we do things before he really knows kind of what he's doing, right? So, but great personality, good energy. I'm excited to have him here.
Brian, Brandon is on a cusp. He's obviously contributed now with a opportunity to start. What have you seen from him? What do you expect from him this year? What's his potential?
Yeah, I think, like everybody, the ceilings, is the clouds. There really is no ceiling. It's only what he limits himself to. But I expect to see a great leader. I expect a guy that did everything he did last year, but then some, add more to it. He's definitely a guy that can carry a lot of roles and do a lot of things, but you can't let the execution slip because you can do a lot of things, I wouldn't say in an average way, but you do too many things and you're not an expert at something. So he's got to make sure that we stay sharp that way, but I expect him to be a leader. I expect him to be, really a person that pushes our culture and allows our culture to grow and bring guys along. Some guys take care of themselves. Some guys can take care of themselves and bring guys along. I expect Brandon to be one of those guys, and he's shown so far that not only is he capable, but he really wants to be that guy. So, but body of work over time will ultimately tell us.
Brian, we had yesterday, Coach Day had mentioned that Austin Cerebral was Iron Buckeye again. Just what have you seen from him this offseason, and how soon did he kind of flip that switch where you saw, like, all right, this guy's legit about what he wants to do in 2025 to build off of last season? Yeah, I think Austin's always had a good demeanor about him, and I think he's elevated that even more. I think it feels like there's been a lot of belief that he's instilled in himself, to seeing himself do that, over time. And, really, he's just been really impressive. He's one of those guys, in my opinion, that you just don't talk about a lot because he does everything right, and when you're playing a line, you're always at the point of attack. So it's easy to get exposed. If people are talking about you a lot, it's usually not a good thing. And Austin is the complete opposite. So we'll make sure to identify all these great things he's doing, but he just continually does his job at a high level. And, I expect that to continue. I expect that to develop more and more into a leadership role, which we already feel.
and be a mainstay and bringing along that O-line group, which we're excited about. So Austin's a big part of that.
Brian, I think it was around this time last year when people were talking about Brandon being such a big leader behind the scenes. And I know he didn't play maybe starter snaps last year, but how important was he to just what you wanted that room and the chemistry to be? And how much growth have you seen from him?
Yeah, Brandon's always been a big part of our room, receiver-wise, culturally. He drives it. He helps run it. Carnell has taken a big role in that as well this year. Frankly, all those guys are stepping up. I mean, Carnell, JJ, David Adolph, these guys are all have made progressions. But from a leadership standpoint, those guys are really trying to take over with BI being at the forefront of that. So I expect that, and that's good. And he holds himself to a high standard, but I want him to start bringing even more and more guys along in that same fashion.
Brian, what's the best thing that Jeremiah does on the plays, the reps where he doesn't have the ball in his hands?
I think that best thing Jeremiah does is just he just always wants to learn. So, as a coach, you can't baby him. You can't put him on a pedestal. He does not want that. So, he being held accountable. There have been opportunities to maybe finish more without the ball in your hands, turn upfield. I identify it and he applies it. I'm not going to say there's one individual thing when the ball's not in his hands. I think just overall for him, he's always trying to learn. He's always trying to contribute, whether he's he knows there's a decoy-ish mentality or a blocking mentality because he's a big guy or whatever that role is. He just loves learning the why and then applying it in that role and that play.
Brian,
we heard last week Coach Day talking about Carnell maybe taking the biggest strides out of anyone in terms of leadership this offseason. Did you guys have to push him at all, or was that all kind of him naturally kind of stepping into that role?
No, it's more him for sure. There's probably a conversation that was had, obviously, that we know you're capable of this. Why not be this guy? Whatever those conversations are between myself and Coach Mick and Coach Day, but ultimately, players apply. Players choose to do things. We can recommend and suggest all we want, but ultimately players are responsible for making plays and making changes. So, yeah, I would agree with Coach. I mean, he's made huge strides. I love him for it. He's the right kind of guy for it. He's the right kind of role. Really no BS kind of guy. And a lot of guys have a lot of respect for him. So, doing a great job. Absolutely love it. I'm glad those conversations that I had were received, and I'm glad to see he's really taking the reins of it and ran with it.